Hi, this is Carrie Fancett Pagels. I'm the author of Behind sWall. It's set at Mackinac Island's beautiful Grand Hotel. It's a dual timeline story in 1895 and in 2019 is where it starts, and then we go to 2020 for the contemporary part of the story. I'm going to start on chapter 2, and I'm going to read you a little bit of Willa's story. Yellowstone, June 2019. Are we in 2019 or 1895? Willa removed her favorite oversized cheap sunglasses, so unlike the designer cat's eye Chanel pair she'd chosen for this year's television season, and stared up at the large cabin-like structure of the Old Faithful Inn. Her assistant, Sue Pentland, parked their rental Subaru Outback, and then the two of them unbuckled their seatbelts. Sue pushed her fringed blonde bags back. It's not bad. Probably much nicer on the inside. Maybe there's a reason they don't show many pictures of the interior of the old house rooms. Experiencing the old lodge rustic vibe had been their aim, though. Check-in time doesn't start until 5. Outrageous for what you're paying for that room. Sue touched the liftgate button to release it, and the two of them exited the vehicle. Sue grabbed her bag, an oversized black leather monstrosity she'd bought on their recent business trip to Dubai. Willa pulled her own super lightweight nylon rolling bag from the trunk. One of the benefits of traveling incognito is only having one teeny tiny bag this trip. Shaking her head, Sue touched the button to close the hatch. If I never see another lime and blush camo ensemble on you, I'll be happy. Willa elbowed her. Hey, you helped me pick that look. It's certainly memorable. Her assistant began pulling her bulky luggage toward the stairs, which led up from the parking lot. I should have dropped you out front. After the long flight from Virginia to Wyoming and the many hours driving into the park, her brain wasn't exactly functioning on fully charged capacity. Tell me again why we've come here? Sue sighed as she lifted her bag up one step and then another. Rustic chic inspiration for the new line. As one of the country's rising stars in hotel design and redesign, Willa had longed to get a look at one of the oldest rustic hotels in the country. I've never been here. Yeah, me neither. Sue continued her slow sojourn upward. Let me help. Willa grabbed the handle too. She tried to lift, but the suitcase seemed full of bricks. What have you got in here? Her friend's cheeks flushed pink. I heard the weather can change fast out here. I brought boots, winter clothes, and everything in between. Seriously? Willa cocked her head at her. It's in the 70s today, and I'm warm. Dressed in cargo shorts and a subdued off-white polo shirt, Willa desired to blend in with the other tourists. Can I help you, ladies? At the top of the stairs, a handsome golden-haired man stood alongside an equally attractive woman, two blonde girls standing between them. What a beautiful family. Willa stared up at them. She didn't normally allow herself to think about what she was missing behind the wall she'd formed over her heart. Her stellar career was enough, or so she told herself. The broad-shouldered man quick-stepped down the stairs and soon stood 2 steps above them. Looks like you could use a hand. Sue gaped at the man, and Willa bit back a chuckle. This guy was really a little too perfect in all the right ways. When Sue didn't answer, Willa nodded. Thanks, that would be great. At the top of the stairs, the stranger's wife pulled out her phone and appeared to be checking something. The two little girls held each other's hands and swung them back and forth. They were adorable. The stranger grinned at them, dimples forming in his suntanned face. Let me take them both, eh? Willa stiffened. They were in Wyoming, not Michigan's Upper Peninsula, but the man's distinctive Yooper accent triggered the anxiety she associated with her birthplace. She swallowed hard, but allowed him to take her bag. The man bounded back up as though Sue's luggage held only down feathers. What's the matter, Willa? She shook her head. Let's catch up with him. As they neared the top, Sue slowed and grabbed Willa's arm. Oh my gosh, do you know who that woman is? Willa narrowed her eyes, taking in the woman's lovely profile. As you know, I don't watch television unless it's about hotels or resorts or go to movies, so just tell me. That's Bianca Rossi, one of those housewives of Beverly Hills. Drop-dead gorgeous, with an equally attractive family, Bianca likely enjoyed showing off her fantastic life for all the nation to see. Her husband sure looked like a happy man with that huge smile on his face as he rejoined his family. When they reached the top, Sue reached for her suitcase. Thanks so much, but I can roll it on in from here. Bianca's silvery blue eyes locked on Willa. I know you, don't I? No. The numbers were improving for her HGT segment, but without her makeup, Willa's crazy hair thanks to wigs, and her outre clothing, how could this woman know her? Yes, I do. Her handsome honey glanced between the two of them. Mr. Yooper man with Hollywood glamour gal? How had that happen? Still, they looked awesome together. You're Willa Christie. She dipped her chin in acknowledgement. Willa had taken her grandfather and birth mother's surname as her professional name. Willa Forbes was her adoptive and legal name. You redesigned my father's resort in Jamaica last summer. He raved about you, and I love your new segment on HGTV. Oh my goodness gracious. Bianca Rossi is having a fangirl moment. Too bad that Willa couldn't return the favor. Sue leaned in. And I love watching you on TV too, Bianca. Bianca raised a perfectly manicured hand and feigned locking her lips. Mum's the word for all of us while we're here, right? Hunky Yooperman grinned. She didn't care how good looking he was. If she had to listen to that UP accent every night, she'd be a nervous wreck, even though she'd never been able to say why. Natives of the UP of Michigan, or the Yoop, as some phonetically sounded it, had finally gotten their designation as Yoopers in the dictionary only in the last couple of decades. The designation had been commonly used by residents for a century, though. Her sweet grandpa was a Yooper man, albeit an elderly one, but his strong regional accent didn't bother her. We're keeping our trip on the down low, too, Sue confided. Bianca glanced around as if making sure no one could overhear. A bus of tourists, most of whom were speaking an Asian language, arrived at the front of the lodge. So, are you researching something at the Old Faithful Inn? Nothing your father could have used in Jamaica, believe me. Willa winked at the other woman. Bianca laughed. I know, this look would never have worked for Pops. The older of the two little girls tugged at her mother's navy pattern tunic. Let's go, Mom. Willa briefly locked eyes with Mr. Rossi. Thanks again for your help. No problem. Was it her imagination or did he suddenly look sad? Did it bother him when Bianca talked shop? Nice to meet you two. Bianca beamed at them. Us too, Sue gushed. Soon they made their way inside, registered, and headed to their room. Willa unlocked the door and opened it. Sue had specifically chosen one of the inn's original rooms to obtain a more genuine, rustic feel. This was certainly that. Sue stepped in behind her. Oh my. Yikes! Where's the bathroom? Willa looked around the spartanly furnished room as though a bathroom might show up if she looked hard enough. It's down the hall. Down the hall? A fact Sue had forgotten to share. Her friend chewed her lower lip. You wanted the rustic experience. It wouldn't help to complain. Willa would put on her big girl pants and deal with the situation. At least the windows are pretty. And old, very old. Sue crossed to the window. Willa joined her. Look at that, a geyser's going. Willa pointed out. Wow, that's pretty cool. The two of them watched as the geyser continued to erupt. Don't see that every day, do you? As the geyser stopped its flow, Sue reached to turn the window's locking mechanism to open it. Oh, this was already unlocked. Maybe that's why it's so cool in here. Sue struggled to lock the window again. This might be original equipment here. Let me try. On work sites, strong-handed Willa was the one who could often get things unstuck. She tried repeatedly, but failed to connect the brass pieces to latch. I think we need Mr. Yooper man for this. Huh? That guy's accent's pure Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Yeah? A distant memory of a man in uniform with the same accent and cadence to his voice whispered to her from the past. Goosebumps prickled her arms. This was silly reacting this way. Although Willa began her life as a Yooper, she'd grown up in Virginia with her adoptive parents. Born a Yooper? Always one.